fellow travelers of consciousness. Welcome in. I hope you're doing well. My name is Kenneth Berenson. In this channel, we channel. It's quite a journey we're on, right? I mean, this consciousness game, it's quite a journey. It's quite some experiences that we've had to go through in order to get to these places that we are with ourselves and with the rest of the souls that are, thriving here. Because that's the whole point. I mean, what's the point of being here if we can't thrive? Of course, we have to create systems and situations so that we can thrive here. So that we all can thrive and enjoy ourselves. That's the whole point. But we haven't, it's almost like we humans coming in here, like we're from Norway originally. This body is from Norway. Norway mentality, what we experienced growing up is that it's very okay, this is how we can explain it. So, just an experience of the bus situation in Norway. It's quite a psychological, mental ordeal. And you go into the bus and everyone that sits together, they don't speak to one another. It just feels like I can't speak here. I just have to stare and can I look to the other there's this just behave. Just behave like this. Pretend that you don't even exist. It's this weird frequency that we came in with. I mean, we didn't come in with it. We sort of came into it. Of course, we were like anyone else. Jumping around and being a kid, right? Figuring this stuff out, figuring the world out, playing and all of that. But when, where are we going with all of this? where are we going? Well, this is when it's important to take a deep breath. If the body spins out a little bit, it's important that we, as the consciousness, is aware of what's going on in our field so that we can course correct. And it doesn't matter. Just course correct and just continue from here. Because consciousness is here all the time. You can alter the course of your life in any moment. Any moment you want. Let's say that you're just like now, we were talking about something, and then we feel like, maybe we shouldn't have, at any moment in your life, if you are on one of those roads, pay attention to the body signals. If it's telling you to get off or get out or, do something else or go watch that thing or, listen to those signs. Because your body will always nudge you in the right way. You might misinterpret the nudges, thinking that it's something that it isn't. That's the interpretation. The interpretation can interpret many things. The interpreter interpretator. I crack myself up sometimes. That's not English. Interpreter. Perpetrator. What? It's like interpretate. Interpret. There's a lot of goofy energy today. But regardless, wherever you are in your life, you can turn and you can go the right way. You don't have to continue the wrong way, justifying to everyone else how it's the right way, even if you're heading off a cliff. Then it's very loving to go, hey, you're heading off a cliff. I know you don't know me, but you're heading off a cliff. You know? But if that person, you don't think, you're just pretending, or and then they're just heading off the cliff. Like, it doesn't matter what you have to look at reality. It's the same thing. You have to look at reality. The energetic truth is at play all of the time. And whenever you meet another being, it's at play right there. There are these thought patterns that are swirling around that you don't have to pay attention to. But many beings are sort of trained to pay attention to them. So it's like a habit that needs a bit of... It's like you need to unlearn. It's not like you need to unlearn. It's like you need to learn focus. You need to learn focus so that you focus on what you want to create at any given moment. Do you want to create healing? Well, then think healing thoughts. Do you want to create harmony? Well, then think harmoniously. Do you want to create peace? Well, think peacefully, or maybe not at all. An empty mind is many people's dream. All of these states are possible to achieve with your human being construct. You can alter the way that you expect the reality to respond to you, so that you are setting up pathways, energetic pathways, that is working for you, and you don't need to do the work anymore. Just like AI, that you can set up automatic things and you can remind yourself, and there are many things of these automatic. Just the same, you can create a habit with the body that goes on automatic. But it takes a little bit of efforting in the beginning. It is like riding a bicycle. It's the same muscle. Oh, let's learn something new. That is what it is. Because once you learn once you're done with the dualistic perspective, meaning thinking that anything is out there, once you get that, you have to get that. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything. You can do what you want. But we are advising that if you want to land your light in consciousness, it is very wise of you to learn, to train your mind in seeing energetic truth so that you see this reality for what it is in reality, not what you think it is. Many have been mistrained in what this reality actually is. And so there are many misperceptions about projection, what it does to a human consciousness, how much it limits and hinders a human consciousness if you judge and project. And the beautiful thing that can happen is also if you judge someone, it ping-ponged, and you think the other person judged you, it can happen in a flick of a second. This can all happen in your own consciousness. That is what is happening all of the time in the dualistic perspective. What we are inviting you is a different perspective. It is a different perspective of operating your consciousness from the inside out. And that is how you create change in the world. To change from the inside out. That part, I think many beings comprehend. If you want to make a change, it starts with you. There's no one else that can make that change in your reality. This is a very individual game. You have been fooled thinking that we are all connected, yes, but not in the way that you think in the ego's world, where you call each other and you email and you're friends and it's not necessarily always like that. It can be, of course, but it's not that is the most important. It is the that. It is the who am I rendezvousing with that is for my highest growth. That matches my frequency type of thing, you know? We are inviting you to the holistic perspective. This is a perspective that we are shifting in consciousness every single day. Why should you do such a thing, you may ask? Well, when you correct your perspective to the holistic perspective, that means that you are seeing more of this reality. This is not something that we just have come up with. This is something that we are translating universal truth for you here. This is how it works in energy, and we are also training you to master your human energy so that you can finally transcend these dualistic patterns and sort of make sure that the puzzle pieces are built in your energetic field so that the stream of consciousness goes clear as it can be. You are on wonderful journeys, each and every one of you. And you are coming to deeper comprehension. That is the next level in human evolution, is this holistic perspective. This might be a stretch for some. It might be that you have to look at yourself. No. That's not even. You have to look at yourself. You have to look at yourself. We have been in 5 years of true self-discovery, where we were sort of, everything was like magnifying glass on this being. What is wrong here? That was the entire thing that we were in for 5 years, and we were trying to figure it out too. And in that, process of self-discovery, we went through so much between heaven and earth when it comes to all of this. And so when we are speaking about embodying the holistic perspective, what we're speaking about is that every single one of us, we are operating more from a sense of deep connection with the body and deep respect and honoring for the body. It is not we're using the body and it's just our tool to do what we want. And if we do that with your body, then of course you're going to try and use other people to just do what you want as well. It makes sense. It is the dualistic perspective. It is very outwardly driven. It is twisted. But once you start to commune this way, so that you are actually only focused on your own experience, never mind everyone else. Let them have their own experience. That's okay. You can have your experience, whatever it is. And I'm sure things make sense in your experience. Let it continue to make sense. But if you are done with this dualistic way, just know that there is a different way of operating that you can train in. If you're tired of all of this dinner parties that you think that you have to go to, or these friends that you try to, but you see that things are not going anywhere, and like all of these things that you entertain, but if you're done with those loops, and if you truly want to make a big shift in your life to align to the holistic perspective, just know that this is a very valid pathway. It is the pathway to health. It is the pathway to vitality. It is the pathway that all of the yogis and all of those beings have to have anchored like this in order to walk that path of enlightenment. Another way of saying that is that you finally know why you're here. You're finally correcting the energy enough so that you are in alignment with who you truly are. But we want to say that this is not a quick fix. This is not something that you can just take a pill. Beings have been so trained that they think they can take a pill and then everything goes away, because that's what the drugs are doing. And we get it. It's natural for anyone to think like that if that's what they got taught. It makes sense. But it's not completely true. If you truly want to change, you don't numb anything, right? You have to feel it. You have to understand the consequences of your actions and why certain things happen. Once you start to fully make sense of your life, wow, that's when you start to become someone not to be reckoned with, you know? That it takes a bit to you get stable in your foundation, in your light. That's important. It's your light. It's not our light. We are focused on our light. We don't need you to focus on our light. We need you to focus on your light so that we can focus on our light, and then we can work together from that perspective. And that plugging in is what the first step is. And if you want to get started with that step and many more to come, there's a link in the bio, and we'll talk to you again soon. We hope to see you there, and we're sending you so much blessings on your day. Take care. Ciao.